In today's video, we're going to go over what you need to do if you're looking to buy a property in 2021. Now, I have no notes for this video. This is just a talk. Let's figure this out. Because in most markets in Canada right now, there is low inventory and buyers are struggling. And I want to have a direct conversation with you for what you need to do to give yourself a competitive advantage in any market. My name's Tom Story and I'm the team leader of the Story team, and we sell real estate in Toronto. But the tips and tricks I'm going to go over today can be used in any market across the world. Let's get started from the very beginning. Before you go out and view any properties, get yourself pre-approved. That's always going to be step number one. Next up, you need to have a consultation with a professional. So I would say that most people meet a realtor at the door of the property for the first time. That's not the way you should be doing it. You should be sitting down and going over exactly what's happening in the marketplace to educate yourself. Get all of your ducks in a row because you're going to have to make a decision fast, especially with low inventory. So let's go over the numbers that you need to know. For most real estate boards, they will put out monthly reports, and this is where you're going to find the numbers. So first, you're going to pick the area that you want to buy in. Then you're going to pick the property type. Once you've done that, you can really key in on the micro market. The first thing you have to figure out is where the months of inventory is, because this is going to tell you what type of market it is. So anything under the number 3 is a seller's market, from 4 to 6 is a balanced market, and 6+ is a buyer's market. How you find that number is at the end of every month, you go to that specific area and that property type, and you see how many active listings were there, divided by how many properties actually sold. This is the absorption rate. And if the number is under 3, so in my market right now in Toronto, the number is basically like under 2 for the entire city, and that's why demand is crazy right now and prices are going up. This is why you're going to have to move quickly and know exactly what you're looking for. Next up, you need to know the difference between list price and sale price. So right now, I understand it's frustrating for buyers because you see a property listed at one price and then it sells way over and you're like, what the hell happened there? Well, that was never really what it was worth. That was just a marketing price. So one of the stats that will be on these reports will show you the difference from list price to sale price. So if you see 115% list versus sale price ratio, that means that the average property that is selling is going way over the list price. So that's an indication to you as a buyer that you're likely going to be in competition. And by the way, this doesn't mean that every property is selling for more than it's worth. It's just they're taking a different strategy. They're setting a price that is lower than it's worth to create competition to get to another sold price instead of just listing it at that number. The third thing you want to know is what is the average days on market for properties that actually sold. So let's say the number is 15. Let's say the average property sold in 15 days. So what I would do is I would make a list of properties in the area I wanted that are 15+ days on market, if that was the average days on market. Because if they were priced or marketed correctly, they should have already sold. So if they are still on the market, there is an opportunity to get it. Listen, a house is a house, a floor plan is a floor plan, an area is an area. Even if they took crappy photos and it doesn't look very good, like I promise you, take advantage of their bad marketing. Because what's happened is all your competition, all the other buyers trying to buy what you're buying, they're going out and seeing the properties that are day one on the market, and they're all competing for that. But there's some stale listings that have been sitting, probably because they're not marketed correctly or maybe overpriced. You can get it at a lower price, that are sitting there. And I hesitate to ever use the word deal in real estate because that's such a subjective term, but there are definitely opportunities when you're looking strategically. Okay, so now let's talk about the fact that you're out there, you found a property you like, and you're going to be making an offer on it. If you are in a competitive market, most of the time you're going to be in competition in terms of multiple offers. So there's a few things that you can do to make your offer stand out. The first one is make it a firm offer, have no conditions. And by no means am I saying you go in blind. All I'm saying is that you do your homework beforehand instead of after. Because if there's 10 offers on a property, it's typically the firm one that wins it 99.9% of the time. That means you review the home inspection beforehand or do your own home inspection. If you're buying a condo, you have your lawyer review the status certificate beforehand. And for financing, make sure to send the MLS property description to your mortgage broker and get the thumbs up that you're good to go before you make the offer. The next thing is having the deposit available on hand. So the paperwork is worth nothing without the deposit. So if there's 2 offers that are identical and one of them has the deposit there, or at least a photo of it saying they can drop it off that evening, and one of them does not, I am always going to advise my clients to take the one with the deposit. Because in a typical situation, you have 24 hours to give them the deposit check for whatever the deposit amount is in your marketplace. In Toronto, it's roughly 5% of the purchase price. But if it's an offer date and you're in competition, you want to have a firm offer, you want to have the deposit ready, and on top of all of that, writing a letter about who you are and why you love the house will make a difference. And to take it to even the next level, don't just write a letter, make a video. Imagine they're looking at 10 offers and they get one of people explaining why they love their house so much. Like, listen, I'll be the first one to admit, and I've been through this situation a lot on both sides, money talks. Typically, the highest offer wins. But if there are two offers that are close, the one that sent in the video that made the impression, you might emotionally make a connection with them, they might want to work with you. Now, on the person that's representing you side of things, so you're likely going to have a realtor that is representing you to buy the property, make sure that they've connected with the listing agent and they're building rapport over the process. Because when there's 12 offers on a property, if you just randomly send in the offer and don't really connect with them or tell them anything about the clients or ask any questions, it's just going to be one of all the other offers. But if your realtor calls them and checks in and understands what's going on and asks the right questions, it does make a difference. Like, relationships play a part in everything. So there you go. There's my little rant. It is okay sometimes if you lose on a property. I see it all the time where our clients lose on a property, but in my eyes, it's actually a win because an uneducated buyer paid too much money. But what you also have to remember, there will become a time that you get to that frustration point that you really want that property and you're like, screw it, just give them this, let's get this done. That might happen to you at some point, and that's okay if you just look at how long you're going to live there for. And in a market that's moving upwards, our Toronto market in 2020 went up 12% in a year. That means every single month, properties cost 1% more to buy. So the longer you take to get in the property market, the more it will likely cost you in the future. I hope that was valuable to everybody. If you have any questions, please put them below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe to our channel. Again, my name is Tom Story and I run the Story team and we sell real estate in Toronto. If you have any questions about the market or just want to check in and see what's going on, let me know. I will hang out in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, home is where your story begins. Hey, it's Tom again. If you want to book a call with me, just check out my website, storyteam.ca/contact. You can click call with Tom. If you have any questions about the market, it is totally cool. There is no obligation. I'm happy to answer them for you. As you can tell, I'm a little bit of a stats nerd on the market, and I fundamentally understand why it's actually happening, and I can break it down for you in your micro market. Or you can check us out on Instagram @TheStoryTeam. We'll talk soon.